vomity belch too.
So pleasant.
Yeah, it just sets the tone.
Shad ain't gonna get that taste out of your mouth.
Well, nobody was here to see it, so it'll just be like the people that come back to view this later.
Those must be. I mean, like considering the people that watch live, the people who watch these like later must be.
Oh God,
Sad.
they must be totally insane.
I mean, it's barely watchable if you're seeing it live.
Yeah.
I mean, with the occasional bright spot, sure.
Is it the real last Highdeology ever? No, dipshit. It's just clickbait. Come on. I'm not out. Come on, buddy. I just wanted to get you assholes in here a little quicker. I'm tired of you all dribbling in. You gotta you gotta name it something. You became a Patreon today. Well, you're a patron, not a Patreon. I was watching Contradictions of a God Believer earlier while I was hanging out, and remember TJ corrected Brett on that. He was like, "Oh, by the way, Brett, when somebody buys into your Patreon, they're a patron, not a Patreon. Patreon is the website." And I don't think Brett even understood the criticism.
I know he didn't change. Shockingly.
There were some interesting...
He's been writing me occasionally.
Really?
I'm just real polite.
Why? Why do you even respond to it?
Because it's always like, today he wrote me and he's like, because I had a tweet where I was like, anyone have any show recommendations? And he wrote me with some show recommendation. I was just like, thank you for the recommendation.
He's on the Deep Fat Fried subreddit on his little alt account that got exposed because it talks exactly like him. Los Angeles Warrior. It's Angeles is spelled wrong. I think he was trying to look like somebody who was far away from Missouri. It's like, where's a place that's far from Missouri? Where no one would suspect me. But he spelled it Los Angeles.
And he always... he always wanted to be a Hollywood guy, too. He used to have that Brett Keane Hollywood thing. It's even this little song. I dream of Hollywood and of a better life.
Yep.
So.
But he was on, they make a thread on the subreddit for each one of our shows. And for the L. Ron Hubbard one, he was like, so good. A new Keenism was born. He was like, oh, great idea, TJ. Like, there aren't at least 100 other videos about L. Ron Hubbard out there. Way to stay ahead of the curb. And I was like, oh, my God. He just...
The curb.
Ahead of the curb, dude. What a dumb fuck. He's so stupid.
Oh, never stop being you. Never stop being you.
I know, man.
Oh.
Fucking ahead of the curb, dude. Working on all cinder blocks.
Oh, God. Oh.
God damn, man. He just brings joy, You gotta give him that. He just fills me with mirth sometimes to think that he fucking exists.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Ahead of the curb, dude. Oh, Brett.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, Brett.
Oh, okay.
You're really jumping the gum there.
Oh, how many things can he butcher? Oh, man, fuck, dude. Fuck me.
Almost killed me.
Oh. Okay.
My googly eyes on display for everyone. Yeah. I mean, I knew I had eyes, like one eye was, different size, kind of. They're pretty asymmetrical, but I didn't know one was slightly googly till last night. I've made fun of people with googly eyes too. One of my friends were like, "What? Do you hear Paul talking about that person's lazy eye? I mean, does he even know? I don't think so, man." Fuck. You can't tell that I have a googly eye. Does that mean? Yeah, yeah. If you can't see my googly eye, it just means that you also have a googly eye. Because Google eyes can't see other Google eyes, you know? Not until you've seen your own googly eye. You look like a poorly crafted sock puppet. Wow, cool.
Oh man.
Way to stay ahead of the curb, TJ. Address the hat. Oh, it's because my hair's really long and I took a shower and combed it back, and this is what it looked like. So I just grabbed TJ's fedora and covered this mess. Evan LaFlavor's hat, man, maybe it is. Oh, Brett. You are a fucking nightmare.
Way to stay ahead of the curve. I'm glad he's such a dedicated fan.
Oh, dude, he comments all the time. He's one of our biggest fans. For sure. Los Angeles Warrior, dude. Deep cover manatee. I'll never suspect someone from Los Angeles is me. Yeah, the bell curb. 113. 1. The fuck, dude? The perfect disguise, yeah. What an idiot. Low energy clickbait title. Well, it worked on your dumbass, didn't it?
They can't even deny it.
Reeled you right in like a big ass fucking bass. Saw that juicy worm dangling on the fucking hook. Couldn't help but take a nibble. There are exercises you can do to fix the eye over time, like doing reps of looking at your nose. Really? I don't know if I want to fix it, though. I kind of want to just embrace the googly eye. You know, fits into my misanthropic nature.
He views the world from an askew perspective.
Yeah, slightly askew, dude. Best movie ever, hands down, is Leprechaun in the Hood. I mean, it's pretty goddamn good. I don't know about best movie ever, but goddamn, Lep in the Hood is a fine film. Crazy googly eye Paul is best Paul. Oh, cool. Fix your lazy eye. I can't, man. I can't do it. Your eyebrows are barely visible. I know, dude. I got really blonde eyebrows. I'm just a freak. I'm a freak of nature. Horrifying homunculus. I really enjoy the new DFF. I was just shocked as you guys when TJ rolled a critical fail. I mean, yeah, dude. Roll a 1. I mean, I guess it wasn't really TJ rolling it. He didn't have to face the music. Fucking Trump did. But, man. A 1.
I was shocked.
Yeah, I thought we would be, rolling a Millard Fillmore, fucking, Taft or some shit.
We went and looked beforehand. It's like, okay, the vast majority of these guys, like, we don't really shit about.
Yeah, they're not super notable, at least not to us.
They're all obviously pretty distinguished as having been presidents of the United States, but I don't know much about fucking Taft or Millard Fillmore or fucking Garfield or any of this fucking...
Yeah, would have been... I don't know, though. I mean, I guess we can just... now that we've got Trump scored, maybe we can do 2 on an episode or 3, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because Trump scores there. We could always, take a quick look and see if we want to reassess any, but...
I was pretty happy with what we ended up with.
He might fuck something up.
Oh, yeah, we might have to adjust for some new...
Yeah, for something he's done.
Don't worry about your googly eye, Paul. It's that nose you need to focus on. Well, maybe that's why I've got a googly eye, because I got this giant fucking shark's dorsal fin of a nose just hanging out in the front of my face, drawing my eye all the time, you know? I don't know. The nose is like, I don't know. Every dude on my dad's side of the family has this nose. Every dude. That's the parky nose, man. Nothing I can do about it. Please go into great detail about how Jordan Peterson is the next Hitchens. Let me tell you something about Jordan Peterson. I know brilliance, okay? I've had the happy occasion to meet quite a few incandescently brilliant people in my life. And Jordan Peterson makes them all look like drooling fucking retards banging their helmeted heads against the back fucking window of a short bus, okay? Jordan Peterson is a golden god of knowledge and debate, and no one will ever defeat him, ever, on any point. He says jump. I don't say how high. I say, Jordan, when can I come down? Okay? Have you seen the movie Rubber? Yes, I've seen the movie Rubber.
I like that movie.
Yeah. Certainly the most interesting protagonist of a film, or I guess antagonist. I don't know. He's a little bit of both. I was rooting for, what's his name? What was the tire's name?
I don't think the tire had a name.
It has a name.
I'm pretty sure it didn't.
Has a name. Tire has a fucking name. I don't remember what it was, but it does.
I'm pretty sure it don't, dog.
Look it up. You got your fucking phone right there.
I don't know if I do, actually. Yeah, I do. Alright. Looking it up.
You seen Kung Fury? Yes, I've seen Kung Fury. What makes a googly eye a googly eye? Like, it's just, it kind of wanders a little bit. You got one eye that kind of wanders away from what you would consider to be like a direct line of sight. So if I open my eyes real wide, you can see like this eye over here travels a little bit down in this way. Just a hair. It's a little bit googly. Do you like Hobo with a Shotgun? Yeah, I like the simplicity of it.
I like the over-the-top crazy shit that
Yep.
they did.
MMA cage fight. Who? Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson in an MMA cage match. I don't know. I know it would be the most boring, pussified, sissy-ass, girly cage match that ever took place. You imagine the slap fight those two dorks would get into?
Yeah, you're right. The tower did have a name.
See?
Robert.
Yeah, see? Robert the Tire.
Cool. I liked it.
Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro using large words in the ring. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that fight would suck. No shit, dude.
That'd be a true bitch boy slap.
Yeah, dude. It would be the most milquetoast, bitchy fucking slap fight that ever took place in the octagon. The fans that showed up to see it would probably throw their fucking refuse into the ring in disgust. What's up with those gag coughs and synchrony? I don't know. Maybe TJ and I have lived together that our gag coughs have finally synced up. You know, like women's periods sync up when they live together long enough. Oh God, I just came to the realization that I participated in every one of these live for the past 2 months now, and I feel like a stack of bricks has fallen on me. I'm so lonely. Please help. Jesus.
I like when they lay that heavy shit on you.
I know.
This other day, it was a bunch of like stupid bullshit, like you do a fart, nah, brother. You know, just everyone screaming to get their little bit of attention.
Yeah.
And then just in the midst of it all, some girls like, you know,
My dad raped me.
no, she was like, I'm watching my mother slowly wither away, and I have to confront my own mortality. It's painful. I'm like,
I love when they thank you for being their only respite from like their horrible fucking unlivable life.
yeah,
I get that a lot.
yeah.
Like, hey
That's
Paul, in the last 6 months, my fucking whole family was killed in a car accident. I lost my job 3 times. I've been living in a dumpster. All I've got is my cell phone and you, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for giving me something. I'm just like, oh God.
it's like, oh my, yeah. Because you're like, man, if I'm all you got, shit.
Man,
I mean, you're in a bad way, dude.
that's some harsh shit.
I feel bad for you.
Is the show really ending? No. It's just clickbait. Come on, man. You know me better than this. Oh, apparently you don't, because here you are. Paul, I died last month. All I have is you, man. That's funny.
Every once in a while, there's a good one in there.
Yeah. If jerking off during funerals is wrong, well, shucks, I don't want to be right. Okay. Fair enough.
And then you get 20 of those.
Yeah. I mean, that's most of them. Most of them end up that way. Paul, your favorite deepfakes video? Dude, they banned all the deepfake subreddits. All of them.
Sucks.
They're gone. They banned it on the grounds that it's quote unquote non-consensual porn, which I don't even know. What are you even talking about, dude? It's taking somebody's face and putting it over consensual porn. Are you fucking retarded?
They are. How's it any different than like drawing someone or like CGing them?
It's not.
Or any other thing.
It's 100. Well, it's actually CGing them. I mean, you're taking like a reference of their face and using CGI to superimpose that image over someone else. So it's not. There's no difference.
Pretty weird, dude.
But Reddit is a fucking left-wing shithole of the highest caliber.
Yeah, once I saw that Pornhub had banned them, I was like, these are gonna have a tough time going forward.
Like Pornhub is like one of the staples of internet porn has always been celebrity nudes and shit.
Yep.
And faked ones at that. Like,
but that just crossed the line, dude. I don't know why, but it did.
you want to see a deep fake of Ryby riding the Sibian? Well, go learn how to use the program and make one.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys, there's nothing to stop you from making that now.
Except your own intelligence and ability, which I can't help you with that, but...
Yeah, we're certainly not going to do it. We ain't the ones clamoring for it.
You've had a bad month, eh, Paul? Actually, no. I haven't had a horrible month. It's been all right. Would you be pissed off if Ashley was in a deep fake vid? No. I'd watch it and jerk off to it. I'm stupid. Too bad. Well, I mean, at least you know your place, you know.
Yeah, no delusions of grandeur. You can say that for you.
I'm going to make a deep fake with Paul's face and Bailey J's bod. Sweet. I'll jerk off to that, too. Find a Bailey J video where she uses a strap on, put my face on her and Ashley's face on the other chick,
Bailey
dude.
J already has a dick, dude.
Oh, Bailey. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the. I'm sorry. I just assumed
Yep.
normal porn star. I didn't know that was the trans porn star.
Yep.
That hat makes me look like he's about to transform into Freddy Krueger. Really? Or it makes Paul look like. Yeah. She looked fatter than ever. Lol. I don't know if that many lulls was
Yeah,
warranted or needed.
I don't even know if one was. But...
Yeah. One lowercase lull, maybe, but a lull. Come on, dude.
Yeah, you didn't earn it.
Come on, you're not lulling. Trust me. That was earlier when we were talking about, staying ahead of the curb. That was a lull. All right?
That was an LMFAO, dude.
LMFAO?
Yeah.
Lamphao? Lamau.
Wow.
What's the difference between a lamau and a lamphao?
I think the Lamphao is just a little stronger.
All right, so the lamau is like, that's still pretty good, but a lamphao is like, okay, yeah, now I'm...
Yeah, that's just basically like, I'm laughing about as hard as I do.
What about what about the ones where they do that long ass fucking one where it's like rolling on the floor laughing my motherfucking ass off, whatever that would be. ROTF.
I mean that's like when you get to the point in laughter where like you stop even making noise because you can't draw enough breath to actually like get sound going.
Got it. Rafflemal is ultimate. See, I don't think so because I've seen like variations of Rafflemal that are even longer and more involved.
I mean, obviously, the more letters you can put into it, the bigger the reaction.
People thought I was weird because on the internet, when people started using that LOL shit, I just started calling it lol and raffle and all that shit, and a lot of people don't do that. But it was pretty natural, I think, to like just look at it and start calling it a word. Do people now like say raffle
I don't know.
or lamau? I mean, when they're talking about it,
I have no clue, dude.
raffle copter. I remember that one. There used to be like a little GIF image. People do it now. Like I hear people say lol and lulz and all that shit, but I don't hear a whole lot of people saying raffle bow. Raffle is dead. Is it really? Hmm. Well, there you go. You learn something every day, I guess. Raffle is dead, TJ.
Okay. Be sure to ask him when the funeral is.
I'm not going to ask because I'm not going.
I figured I'd send flowers.
Never used to rafflecopter. I mean, rafflecopter, dude, it worked for a while. Waffles. Did you ever go to a high school reunion or would you go to one? No and no. I like anybody that I went to high school with that I want to have a conversation with, I can pick up the phone and do so. The rest of them can all eat a dick and die for all I care. And I'm pretty sure they feel the same way about me. So why they all force themselves into a gymnasium to reminisce about some shit that they don't want to remember, I don't know. But just ain't for me. I mean, I guess some people have an impetus to go to their high school reunion. Maybe they're trying to engineer one of those, Romy and Michelle's high school reunion type of things where they meet their high school crushes and finally hook up with them or whatever the fuck. I guess if I was trying to make something like that happen, like there was some girl I was still carrying the torch for, back in the day in high school, and I thought she was going to be there, and I thought there was a chance I could finally get up in that pussy, maybe I'd go. But that's really not a necessity for me. Don't have one of those chicks. High school reunion became pretty much obsolete when Facebook became a thing. Yeah, I guess that's true. Although people still do them. You just had a double quarter pounder and you feel horrible. Yeah, that's the hallmark of a double quarter pounder.
Yeah, there's like several stages.
Yep.
Stage 1 is desiring a double quarter pounder. Stage 2 is the first bite wherein you think like, man, this is gonna be good.
Yep.
Stage 3 is when you're like midway through and you realize like this is kind of disgusting, but I'm still gonna eat the rest of it.
Yep.
And then
stage 4 is like the regret afterwards because you
like, man, I feel bad both psychologically and physically.
Yeah, I'm ashamed of what I've just done, and I don't even feel good like I normally do when I have a belly full of meat and cheese. I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like I poured a bunch of chemicals on myself. It's gross. Stream your reunion, pawn. I'm not going to my reunion, so how am I going to stream it?
You should go, Paul. You need to see all your people again.
I finally forced myself to see Alien Covenant yesterday. I swear that movie made me grow an appreciation for the AVP movies, and that's sad. I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know how they really don't make the AVP movies look better than the total shit that they are. They're just not great. Like Covenant is not a great Alien film. I just had Taco Bell for the first time in like a decade, and it was surprisingly good. Yeah, Taco Bell's all right. I mean, it's
the later you are, and the later it is, and the higher you are, the
That's true.
is.
Taco Bell is good high food.
It's good late food
How much white guilt do you have? I don't know. Can't put a number on it, man. This place sells 5 pound burgers for $30 and it's free if you finish it in 30 minutes. I don't think I could eat a 5 pound burger, period, much less in 30 minutes. We need to throw Pimp Monk up against that monster, dude. Get Pimp Monk's ass on that burger. Can't believe he fucking threw up that Boulder burger that he ate. God damn, dude. Why would you do that? I don't think I've ever eaten so much that I puked. Like, there's always been a reason for puke. I've never just like puked up a meal because I ate too much food. That's a new one on me. If death is our conscience existing eternally in darkness, what? Okay, you guys are having some kind of conversation. Just shovel pieces of burger into your pockets. I mean, somebody's probably keeping an eye on that, dude. Paul hides his white guilt in his beard. Okay. Wayback Burger has a burger called a triple triple. You can get a triple triple at fucking In-N-Out, dude. Or a quadruple if you want. Why did the stream suddenly go to 144p? Because your internet sucks. Most overrated fast food chain. I know you are from Cali like me, so you know what In-N-Out is. That place has lived up to the hype. What, dude? In-N-Out is good. You're crazy. Maybe you had a shitty In-N-Out experience or something, but I'm telling you, man.
For my money, the most overrated is White Castle.
I've never had it, so I can't speak to White Castle.
I'll tell you what. I've been in some areas where it's like a thing, like it's popular.
Yeah.
And it is fucking gross. Those burgers, like, they taste like cat food. They're just disgusting. Like, they're inedible shit.
Cat food.
Like, I've gone there twice. The first time it was like, because I'd seen Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. I was like, oh shit, there's a White Castle. I have the chance. And I went. And man, I was just like, oh, these are fucking gross. And then I was like, a few years later, I was like, maybe that was just a bad one. So I went to another one and it was even worse.
Wow.
Like, I literally just like threw it away and went to a Wendy's. I couldn't even get through it.
So overrated fast food. I don't know, man. I don't really hear people raving too much about fast food, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, most people, even if they do like it, they kind of are ashamed. Or, you know, a lot of times it's just like a means to an end. Like, I'm in a rush and I need to eat quick.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really like, I don't know. I don't know what's overrated and what isn't, really. Because it just kind of depends on what part of the country you're in. But I like In-N-Out for sure. So, do you guys eat fast food often? Yeah, pretty often, probably. Five Guys is 10 out of 10, you heathen. Is that really fast food, though? Five Guys is kind of like a restaurant.
That's like fast casual.
Yeah.
It's like in the same distinction as like Chipotle. I really like their burgers, but I'm not a big fan of their fries over there. But, you know, I'm a fry snob, so.
What is your opinion on cultural appropriation from both sides of the political spectrum? I don't even really think it exists. I think the whole idea of having a culture is to share it with the world. And I think that if you're from some kind of culture that you're proud of and you see somebody else dressing that way, it's just a sign of your culture's spread and influence in the world. And even if they're doing it slightly wrong, you should not be offended by that. You should probably be flattered by the fact that your culture has spread to a place where it normally doesn't exist and is being looked at and taken as part of the lives of people outside of it. That just shows that your culture is strong and interesting and vibrant and unique and fun. So I really don't think that such a thing. I don't think you can appropriate something that by its nature is shared openly with the world. I don't really get the term, to be honest with you.
racists trying to say that they're the only ones entitled to their precious fucking heritage.
I mean, that's just silly. And it's a silly insular, that's how cultures die. So what you're advocating for is the death of your culture, because cultures that are insular, that never reach outside themselves and affect someone somewhere else, that's how they die off. So you're actually advocating for things like African culture and Hispanic culture and Indian culture to be what? Slowly but surely eradicated from the human experience? That doesn't seem like a very good way to revere those cultures. Seems to me the best way to revere those cultures is to look at them and examine them and be curious about them and learn about them and take pieces of them into your own life and spread those to your children. But whatever. I guess I'm just a cultural retard. Your favorite new kid? I don't even know if I can remember any of them.
Can I? Yeah, that's such a challenge. Like, can you remember the name?
Jordan Knight was one of them.
Okay.
So I guess he'll have to be mine. Jordan Knight. I remembered Knight, and then I was like, oh yeah, Jordan. My little sister was like a huge New Kids fan, and used to be able to name them all and had posters of them and shit. It was horrible.
There was like some fucking New Kids on the Block cartoon that was on Saturday morning at like a really early time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
I remember seeing it a couple times.
I called that like time to play with my fucking Ninja Turtles action figures for a half hour while.
And I would just like, I remember Saturday morning cartoons. That shit was pretty cool. I guess it's kind of unnecessary now.
Do you think your answer on cultural appropriation is a good argument against the alt-right's claim to Western culture? Well, their claim is a little different, right? They're not claiming that other people are appropriating Western culture. They're claiming that other people's cultures are stamping out Western culture, which I think is a silly notion anyway.
Doesn't that kind of mean that the alt-right and the cultural appropriation people are on the same side, though? Because both of them are like, no, don't take my culture.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're starting to see more and more of that, though. The left and the right having kind of different sounding goals, but similar outcomes. You know what I mean? Like
makes it seem like it's
censorship and
makes it seem like it's all just being manipulated.
Language policing. I mean, that's rampant on both sides of this argument now.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like, who's the good guy and the bad guy in this again? Because I forgot.
Everyone's the bad guy.
I mean, Western culture is one of the most dominant cultures on the planet. I mean, if you look at any indigenous people, chances are they have something that's a direct outcropping of Western culture that's helping them to run their society. Things like, I don't know, paved roads. You know what I mean? Like, so this idea that Western culture is somehow under threat of dying is, I don't know. I don't even know what kind of comparison. It's like saying the flu's pretty weak this year, I guess. I don't know. You don't live in Europe, Paul. We are importing large numbers of young men from the Middle East. I understand that. We import people from all over the world here constantly in the United States. See, this idea of a culture as something that exists forever needs to go away. Culture is constantly shifting and changing based on demographics and migrations and overlap with other cultures. I mean, culture is this constantly morphing, shifting, evolving thing. And to think that, like, we're going to preserve white people culture from the 50s forever is just a silly fucking notion. It's time to admit that culture has moved on and will continue to move on no matter how many people cry about it. No matter how many times Ben Shapiro waxes fucking poetic about the beauty of 1950s white culture. It's dead, and it's going to stay dead. If a cultures never disappear, they're assimilated into other cultures. They evolve into new cultures. Cultures don't die. They just get absorbed. They become an amalgamation of each other, they meet in the middle. And as we get, as the space between people gets figuratively, less, the more you're going to see that happen. And to number one, not understand that, and number two, try and stomp your feet and cross your arms and deny it. It's just silliness.
Retreat into xenophobia. I like how they talk. I like how the Europeans are always like, "You don't understand." It's like,
yeah, we do.
What are you talking about? We're like a cult. We're like the most immigrant fucking culture ever.
Yeah, you don't understand. We've got people from other places coming here and bringing their cultural norms with them. I'm like, really? Wow, man, how fucking special. That never happens here.
I mean, that's been us since pretty much our inception.
We're a nation born of that. A bunch of different cultures from all over the world. I mean, that's what the United States was before it was the United States. It was a series of colonies from a bunch of different European nations and a native population.
And a bunch of slaves.
All of them culturally distinct from one another. Yeah, and then later on we added another culture in slaves and created a culture in slavery. So you see what I'm saying? Like this idea that there's just like one Western culture. Western culture. What is that? There's like a million different distinct Western cultures, each with their own independent set of values. I mean, there might be like a bloodline that runs through the center of them. But if you're going to try and tell me that Western culture is something you can lump together and talk about saving, I'm going to ask you which one? What aspect of it? How? How are you going to undo the natural process by which cultures kind of shift and blend and merge into one another? Like, what are you going to do? Start driving Studebakers and making your wives cook and wear little sundresses all the time? I mean, what's the fucking... How are you going to preserve the culture? Why do people who escape a culture bring that exact culture that oppressed them with them? I mean, look, dude, a lot of people are escaping the circumstances, not a culture. You don't just immediately change. If you're raised in Mexico, deeply entrenched in Mexican culture, you don't immediately just like come over to America and suddenly go like, yeah, man, I want a little house with a picket fence and I want to eat McDonald's and watch football. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? People that flee these countries are not fleeing their culture. They're fleeing the circumstances in those countries. Now, sometimes those have to do with the culture, but I don't think that really, that's not the angle that people are taking when they're fleeing these countries.
Gotta get away from this destructive Mexican.
Yeah, like Mexicans are not like, man, these fucking piñatas are ruining everything, B. I gotta get the fuck out of here, eh? I want to go eat nachos and watch football, man. Yeah. That's not why they're coming. Mexicans aren't running people over with trucks, though. I mean, maybe not on purpose. Like, let's be honest. I'm willing. The death toll from immigrant car crashes is way the fuck higher here. I'm probably got legit way more reason to be scared of an illegal immigrant or a migrant worker splattering me all over the road than you do. Just became a patron on Cinema for Cynics. Do you guys still do the once a month exclusive stream? Well, yeah, we just started. So
we just launched that.
We actually haven't done one yet. So you're an early adopter. Why does the alt-right pretend that they are preserving white culture and to spread this idea to the world, but don't protect indigenous American rights? Well, I mean, whatever. The answer to that is obvious, right? Because they're not indigenous Americans. Like, our culture, best culture. Paul, should I become a DFF patron or no? Do you want to see 4 or 5 extra episodes of DFF a month? If yes, yes. If no, no. There you go. Do it. Just do it. See, sold. There you go. Boom. I just made us $5, TJ.
Cool. Good job.
See? I'm a great salesman. Paul, will there be a pay-per-view DFF thing? I can't afford $5. There's really not one planned right now. So if you can't afford the $5, you'll have to steal it like everybody else that can't afford $5 or doesn't want to pay $5 will be doing. I think the pillars of Western society, i.e., democracy, science, and the idea of individual rights should be preserved, but the idea of white culture or non-white culture needs to go away. I agree with those things. It's weird that people so badly want to preserve culture when culture is a thing that changes constantly. It could be argued that changing culture is the direct result of progress, but people hate change. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the definition of progress, right? So that's just what has to happen. That's what's going to happen. Good, so we can all throw shoes at each other now. Yay, yeah, man. Maybe in a few generations in Europe, it'll be common to throw your shoe at somebody as an insult. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know, man. I feel like in America, people value their shoes too much.
Well, we have expensive shoes built by people who throw their shoes at each other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, basically here, you just be giving someone a free pair of shoes.
Yep. Culture changes over time. End of story. Well, yeah, we already said that.
All right, you guys are just reiterating.
Yeah, you're just repeating back what I said to you.
Look, master, I repeat your words.
Should we ignore racist ideas to ensure horrible cultures don't what horrible cultural doesn't happen? I don't even understand your question. You silly Europeans afraid of terror attacks. What's the deal with that? Jesus over there mowed my lawn. It's the same thing. Sure, Paul. Dude, I didn't say you shouldn't be.
Remind me again which country had the worst terrorist attack in history?
Yeah.
Which one was that again?
I mean, not only that, but like, I'm from America. I lived through 9/11, and I don't walk around clutching my fucking pearls and my purse to my chest every time I see a Muslim. I choose not to be afraid of that because I realize that it's a statistical fucking, like, improbability that I will ever be involved or be in the vicinity of a terror attack. And that's true for everybody in Europe as well. Here in America, I'm an order of magnitude more likely to be hit by a fucking car.
They really hate when you start telling them all the ways you're more like them.
I know, and it's just like because terrorism is supposed to be some special thing that only Europeans understand.
It's way worse to die that way than it is any other way. Like when I did I still get shit from like
of course you do
car crash thing like. Oh, it's TJ, the guy who said that we should be more scared of car crashes than terrorism. It's like, yeah, I still think that. You're an imbecile. It's like, no, I'm not. You are.
I mean, I guess I'm an imbecile for basing the things I'm afraid on the things that are probable to happen to me, and not some fucking boogeyman fairy tale that everybody's all up in arms about. Like, I get it. Terrorism happens. It's a bad thing. When it happens, it should be addressed in some way by the government, but like to walk around your whole life acting like all Europeans are just, and I don't think you guys are living that way. I think you're just using it as a rhetorical device. I don't think you guys are walking around like, something's gonna blow up anytime. Oh my God. Life seems to be going on pretty naturally in Europe, despite all the cries that roving gangs of boned up Muslim men are like raping their way through the evening in every major, like for some reason, commerce and normalcy seems to be pretty standard in Europe last time I checked in. Yeah, it's just silly. Just stop with the bullshit. Quit hyperbolizing everything. Is it a problem? Yeah. Is the answer clutching your pearls and talking about how like you're the scaredest nation on the planet because all these Muslims will be killing people? Shut up. Everybody else gets it. We understand. I mean, come on. Sweden rape rates went through the roof. That's because the way that Sweden defines rape is very different from the way that we define rape.
Yeah, I mean,
in Sweden, rape is like putting your hand on somebody's thigh and they didn't ask for it. Yeah. We have different words for that here. It's like
you guys have to remember too that the SJW thing is way more out of control in Sweden.
Exactly. So
rape definition is like super lax.
Looking at the rape rate in Sweden, the reason that the rates of rape went up in Sweden is because that fucking what is constituted as rape in Sweden is different from pretty much everybody else everywhere else in the world. Here, rape is forcible penetration or forcible sexual contact involving the genitalia or the mouth or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like forcible penetration of a person is rape. In Sweden, it ain't that way. Grab somebody's titty, that's rape. That's aggravated sexual battery here, and it's a different thing. If every time somebody pinched an ass in America here, like, became rape, you'd see the rape rates go through the roof. How do you remove the obsession with keeping culture? That's the great thing. You don't. You don't. These people are going to live and die, and this culture that they're so protective of is going to go away eventually. Despite their efforts. Despite all of their need and want and desire for it to just perpetuate and become this eternal galactic empire of 1950s white person. It's just not going to happen. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, culture will change. In 100 years, we'll be pretty much like unidentifiable in terms of our culture. We're going to have a whole different set of values, a whole different way of looking at the world, because that's just the way it works, folks.
Just watch a fucking movie from like the fucking 70s or 80s and be like,
yeah.
Damn, things are
I was born in the fucking 80s, and I'm constantly shocked at how different things are. And I didn't even really understand a lot of the political intricacies and shit when I was a kid. I'm just talking socially. We've gone from a world in the 80s when I was a kid, it was commonplace to let your kids just run around the goddamn neighborhood all day. No check-ins, no cell phone calls, no pagers, no bullshit. Now, even though murder rates and violent crime rates are steadily declining, people don't allow their kids to go run around the fucking neighborhood anymore because it's not safe. That's a gigantic cultural swing in just my lifetime. We went from a culture of people who thought it was healthy for kids to get out of the house and go run around and play with their friends and get into trouble and shit, to a culture that's like worried that some fucking pederast is going to jump out of a trash can and rape our kid if we let him out of our fucking eye line. We have leashes for children. Think about that. That happened in my lifetime. That appeared in my fucking lifetime. Pederast, look it up. It's a word.
No, it's not, Paul.
My mom was scared to let me walk outside by myself while I was 16. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. And that's just one thing. That's one cultural shift that's happened.
Among many.
So which white culture are we preserving? The one that lets their kids run around outside, or the one that clutches their chest at the thought of their kid not being in their fucking visual sight? Which one we preserving? I don't know.
I just hope smoking indoors comes back.
Yeah.
They come up with a cure for cancer. No one gives a shit anymore.
Dude, I'm 24. When I was a kid, we were allowed to run around. That's great. Have you like participated in Halloween at all? You notice like how kids that come to the door are always accompanied by parents with flashlights and wary looks on their face now? That never happened when I was a kid. If my parents wanted to come out trick-or-treating with me, I would have fucking cried and stayed home because it would have been lame. The whole point of fucking Halloween is going out at night and getting crazy with your friends and getting candy and having fun with the parents not there. Doesn't happen anymore. Kid comes to the door, trick or treat, and right there on the curb with a fucking flashlight pointing it at you like you're a perp that's about to try and put your penis in their child. What are you doing over there? Give my kid candy? All right. Yeah, happy Halloween day. All right, kids, move on. Come on. Next house. What's this guy? Who's this guy? Somebody write down this address. He grabs one of my kids. I want to know this address. Go knock on the door, kids. Go. It's like, what the fuck is this? This is fun? Fuck that. You don't believe I ran around on Halloween? Well, I'm sorry to tell you, I did. Constantly. Crazy shit. We got into crazy shit. Crazy shenanigans, pranks, ding dong ditching. There's a not so nice word for that. The old ding dong ditch. Those parents were raised in your generation, so you tell. Fuck if I know, dude. I don't know what happened. I didn't suddenly become scared and shit. Something happened. Basements that were decked out. Yeah, dude. There were people would have little spook houses built in their garages and shit, and kids would just totally unaccompanied, like, come on in, kids. Be a bowl of candy in there at the end of it. You grab a handful. You know what I mean? That shit don't happen no more. No parents letting their kid crawl off in a fucking cardboard maze made by some pedophile. Some terrorist fuck that wants to rape their kid. Nope. You go to the door, you get one piece of candy, move to the next house.
What fun.
Don't worry, Daddy and Mommy are right here. We're right here. If anything happens, we're right here, baby. Go knock on that door and get a single piece of candy, and then let's do it over and over again. Isn't this fun? Aren't you having a great time? Fuck. No wonder our kids are growing up all fucked up. No wonder mental health is at an all-time fucking low. Hey, Halloween is gay anyway. Now it is. Yeah, I totally agree. Didn't used to be. It used to be pretty fucking cool.
I mean, if you go back even further, it used to be like even crazier.
Oh yeah, there used to be.
It was when we were kids.
Yeah, people would prank and.
Yeah, like trick or treat used to be pretty damn literal. It was literally an ultimatum, like give us stuff or we're gonna like fuck with your house and things.
Yep.
And I guess that still exists to some extent, but.
I've heard stories of European immigrants losing their kids because they let them run around their neighborhood without supervision in America. That's crazy. I mean, I believe it. I don't know. I'd have to see the story and shit. I don't doubt that it's true.
Your children must be strictly supervised at all times. There will be no unstructured time.
These sand diggers, they don't even have a leash for their kids. Look at them. Look at their kids running around and playing soccer in the street and having a good time out in front of their house. What are they thinking? Don't they know that a pedophile could cruise by any second and just scoop up those kids and rape their booties? Just play your Xbox, Johnny. Don't look at these stupid little mongrels out there playing and having fun. Pedophile bait. I swear to God, we're going to walk out there one day when I'm ushering you from the house to the van to take you to school. And we're going to see a wanted poster on the fucking light post out there. A missing poster for these two little Muslim kids. Last seen playing soccer. Next to a white panel van. I know that's not going to happen to you, little Johnny. I won't let it. I won't let it. I'm your helicopter parent. I'm always there. I got the spotlight on you. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What you got your hands in? What are you doing? What are you up to? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Who are these people? Who are your friends? I'm going to go. I'm going to go. You're going to this party? Well, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you. Oh, fuck. What happened when parents had the decency to be detached and have their own problems? Let their kids fucking kind of handle some shit and learn how to be adults. Happened to them days.
Those days are gone.
Paul's about to cry. Yeah, dude. Right on the fucking precipice of tears, dude. You got me. We live in a soft era. We can't let kids get hurt or lose a game or hear a bad word and make mistakes. Well, yeah, that's the whole point. Like, how do you learn? Some of the biggest and most important lessons that I've learned in my life are the direct result of me being allowed to make a mistake. The best fucking teacher is consequences of a mistake. And when we're fucking treating our kids like they're little diamonds that we don't want anybody to fucking touch or hurt, to the point where we keep them locked up in the vault of our house playing Xbox all goddamn day, they're going to grow up to be pretty fucked up and have pretty fucked up ideas about what their fucking like, what their contribution to the social compact is. Selfishness and just self-interest is going to be rampant in a kid that isn't socialized.
And they're just going to expect the world to continue to take care of them.
Exactly.
For their entire lives.
When they turn 18, they're going to go, where's my helicopter? Oh, shit, man. Like, I fucking bought some shit on the street and it turned out to be shit. Where's my helicopter mom to go fucking fill in a gap in my pockets? And it's not going to be there. And they're not going to know how to do it. Oh, man, this fucking light bill's due. Where's helicopter mom at to pay my light bill for me? Uh-oh, now it's cold in here. What the fuck? It wasn't even that long ago that smoking at school was allowed. I know it's not crazy, but tell a high schooler that now. Well, yeah, I mean, even back in my day, like I smoked on campus and like knew that if I ever got caught doing it, I'd probably get expelled. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that it was perfectly fine. Like there was probably a time not that long ago where kids would just step out after class onto the fucking schoolyard and light up. That's why everyone should just kill themselves at 18. I mean, that sounds like a statement from somebody from the generation we were just talking about. Sounds about right. People need to have their feelings hurt now and again. I mean, like, yeah, that's the whole point. That's how you toughen up. That's how you grow a thick skin and not be a fucking wilting violet that anytime somebody fucking contravenes you or says something slightly off color to you, you just turn into a blubbering emotional mess. Like, you got to have those types of interactions. You got to meet an asshole and have to deal with him on your own. You know? Not have your mom there to go, excuse me? What did you say to my little girl? No, Sally, go get in the van. Go get in the minivan. I'll handle this. You listen to me, little Miss Prissy Pants. I don't know how your mom lets you talk at home, but I don't want to hear you using those terms around my little Sally, okay? She does not use those terms. Makes me want to fucking puke. It makes me want to fucking puke. It's like, fuck, man, what are you doing to your kid? I'm sure kids still deal with shitty people in school on their own. Not really. I mean, look, dude, I worked at a school district for 8 years. I was in classrooms with teachers, with kids. I was around the student body all the fucking time. And I'm telling you, like, nothing goes on anymore. Like, anything that goes on is immediately sniffed out. The whole thing has changed. There's nobody alone. Kids aren't allowed. Like, when I was a kid, we had this big-ass recess yard, right? And the teachers and stuff would mill around the basketball courts, the paved areas and shit, but we were out in the grass. Like, we wanted to get as far away from everybody. You're not even allowed to go out there anymore. There's this big-ass recess yard, and unless you're playing a game of soccer on the soccer field that's over there, you're not even allowed to go hang over there. They don't want you up to anything that the teachers can't see. So you have to stay within the paved area and right there on the grass where the teachers can see. Nothing happens anymore, man. That was one school. That was actually 7 or 8 schools in the district that I worked in, along with several other schools outside of that district that I worked and trained in. So, sorry to shoot down that little fucking attempt to devalue what I'm saying, but yeah, my sample size a little larger. Well, maybe it's the district. Maybe so. This is dumb fucks, dude. Trying to poke a hole with a blunt ass fucking tool. I'm gonna pop this balloon with my thumb. Dipshit.
Anecdotal Paul once again.
Fucking retards, man. You know that dude thinks he's smart too. Oh, I got the one that's gonna shoot down his whole argument. That was one. How do you spell ONESKOOL? Enter.
Wrecked.
product of the same fucking school system that we're talking about.
REKT, bitch. Wrecked.
The dumb fuck, huh?
Oh, you just gotta admit you were destroyed. Dude.
Oh yeah, just absolutely fucking dismantled, decimated.
Was that Jordan Peterson just now?
Yeah, Jordan Peterson just stopped by and just completely dismantled my whole argument, dude, and then left.
Sounds like him.
What a dumb fuck, man. Thank Paul's parents for not aborting this god of a human being. Yeah, dude. Thank you, Mom. My high school, we had to wear vests as a sign-out sheet just to go to the bathroom. Whatever. I mean, school sucks. Everyone should have respect for their ancestors and their cultures, regardless of race. There's a difference between respecting a culture and not understanding how cultures change and shift and blend.
I also just don't agree with that.
Well, whatever, dude. Like, yeah, you don't have to, I guess. I can see why people do.
Yeah, I mean, if people want to, that's fine, but I don't feel that obligation. I don't really give a shit. I mean, I could admire my ancestors in certain respects, but, like, the idea that I should give any deference to their ideas just because they happen to hold them, like, eh.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's like, I respect cultures and shit. I respect the cultures of my ancestors. I like learning about, the way my ancestors lived. I like learning about other people's cultures. I like experiencing those things. So I have like kind of a respect for those things, a respect for the differences between people. But I don't hold them in some kind of reverence. I don't think that they need to be artificially preserved by us any more than I think any of the dead cultures that are no longer, around deserve to be resurrected by
I
us.
think we just need to all go back to hunting and gathering, because that is our original culture.
Rewilding, dude. That's actually, there are people that's a political position.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, good old rewilding, dude.
I've encountered some of those people.
I like them.
Strangely enough.
I like rewilders. There's a rapper guy on YouTube. He never really blew up, but I used to watch him. His name was Zach De La Ruta, and he was a rewilder. He was all about this, like, the cities. And I understand, like, the basis of their argument kind of makes sense to me. They make some pretty interesting arguments. Like, they say that, okay, like, violence is inherent in any kind of modern society. It has to be. Like, even if you live a totally peaceful life and you yourself are not victims of violence, you are living under the constant threat of violent reprisal in modern society, right?
Sure.
And the example that he uses for this is like, okay, so you live in your house and you don't make enough money to pay rent. So what happens? Well, eventually you don't pay rent. Somebody comes to your house, a cop with a gun. He knocks on your door and he says, hey, you got to leave your house. And you say, I don't want to leave my house. This is where I live. Where am I going to go? I don't have anywhere to go. And the cop says, well, that's too bad. You got to go. And if you don't, I'm going to use this gun and I'm going to use force and I'm going to eject you from your home. Now that's, whatever. You can say good, bad, right, or wrong. The person living there is living under the constant threat of violence. If they don't pay X amount of dollars by the end of the month, then eventually a deputy is going to show up and kick them out of their home. So that's the example that they use there. And I can understand that perspective. That cities are kind of like cancerous and unsustainable is one of the kind of main points that rewilders will bring up over and over again. The Derek Jensen definition of a city is any group of people, any conglomeration of people large enough to require the importation of resources. And he says that cities are inherently violent almost in the same way that society is, with the cop example. Take something like New York City. There's more people in that land than can be sustained by that land. So if that land cannot purchase goods at a price that they feel is fair from other people, then they're going to go take them. They have no other choice. To sustain the city, it has to be that way. So it's like it pushes people towards violence. I understand the perspective. I think it's an interesting perspective.
Murder rates were actually higher in tribal societies, though.
Well, who was stopping it?
Plus, I mean, if you had a criminal or an undesirable, I mean, there was no system in place with which you could incarcerate them. So it made more sense to just kill them from a practical standpoint.
Right. Oh, super chat. All right. Sorry, I missed a super chat. I'm Swedish. Our biggest problem isn't rape culture or terrorist threats caused by immigrants. It's that large areas used to be attractive, now are no-go zones. And I'm not just talking about ghettos. All right, so what do you, like, so you,
well, a lot of
number one, if you're Swedish, if you've never been to an American ghetto, and I'm not talking about like something like you see on the movies, but an actual troughed off, like South Central on Piru. If you've never been down there, I don't think that you can talk about how things are. Not just a ghetto. There are ghettoized places in America where you don't want to be walking at certain times of the day. A lot of that is mythologized, though. We have this mythology in America about certain places that just isn't true. Like South Central LA is often derided as like this dangerous place where if you're a white person, you're just going to get gang raped by a bunch of angry blacks. And it's just not true. There's some very nice neighborhoods in South Central LA, some very safe shopping districts. It's a pretty safe place to be. So this no-go zone thing, I think it's kind of a xenophobic reaction to seeing new people moving in. It's not a no-go zone just because you're afraid to go into it. How's that? It's a no-go. It becomes a no-go zone if you can't step your foot in there without getting your fucking head blown off by a crazy fucking Muslim. Just because, like, it makes you scared to go to that neighborhood where the brown people are doesn't mean that it's a no-go zone. Go over there, and if something happens to you, and it happens to everybody that goes over there that isn't of that culture, then you can start calling it a no-go zone. I'm pretty sure nothing like that exists in Sweden. I'm going to go ahead and talk out my ass and say nothing even approaching that exists in Sweden. Walking in downtown ABQ in the middle of the day is one of the most dangerous places to be. There are places in America you don't want to be at any time of the day. So this idea that I don't understand that, pretty presumptive. That's still what they call them, and trust me, I've been to some of these areas. Well, they're clearly not no-go zones then if you've been to them, right? You went. kind of yeah, and look, here you are bitching about it in my chat, so it looks like you didn't get killed by a roving gang of Muslims, huh? Kind of defeated your own argument there, didn't you?
Just raped.
I've been to these places, man. I've seen them. I've walked around in them and shit, totally unmolested. No-go zones. What a dumb fuck. Sorry, man. What's the most dangerous place you got stuck in at night? I was driving to the Bay Area with my ex-wife one time, and we were staying in a place that was near Santa Cruz, but we were in the Bay, like in the San Francisco, Oakland area, and I took a wrong turn. I actually got fed off the freeway. I didn't mean to take the turn, but like traffic was so crazy I couldn't get over, and I got fed off the freeway. And this turnpike dumped me in this neighborhood it was like the goddamn jungle. It was fucking crazy. There were dudes standing around everywhere just looking at the car like, what the fuck are you doing up in here, homie? Cracking their knuckles. Like they would step out in front of my car and look, and then just barely get out of the way and like stand hella close to it and look. Like that was this. I don't know exactly where I got fed off, but I got fed off into an area that clearly I was not supposed to be in. Got out of there with the quickness. So there are shitty parts of the U.S., therefore you should ignore and be fine with people ruining our city. No, that's not what I said at all. That guy said, you don't understand, Paul, there are literal no-go zones in Sweden. And I was just telling him I do understand. I know exactly what you're talking about. Those places are all over the place in the United States. And I don't think it's a good reason to argue against immigration or to be xenophobic. I'm sorry. You're coming to the wrong dude. I was raised here in America where that type of shit happens all the fucking time. Here in Georgia, not far from my hometown, there are large tracts of land owned by Muslims. They have a Branch Davidian style compound. Yeah, I've heard about like what Dearborn, Michigan, too, is a town that's primarily Muslims, and they're very religiously devout and kind of run like a informal Sharia law, that sort of thing. Yeah, this sort of thing happens. Do I think it's a problem for everybody in this fucking country? No. Doesn't affect my day to day at all. Doesn't affect the day to day of most Swedes at all that there are neighborhoods that are primarily Muslim. And the dude that was talking this shit himself said he's been to these areas, so clearly they're not all that dangerous. Why were you afraid when you went to the bad neighborhood, Paul? I was afraid because people were posturing in ways that were clearly negative towards me. Like, have you ever walked into a room and realized that everybody in that room wanted to beat your ass or was on the verge of beating your ass? You've never read a social cue from a human being? I guess I shouldn't assume that. This whole generation was raised on fucking Xbox and the internet, so I guess, like, never walked into a room where people, wanted to jump me. Never been in a situation where somebody was acting aggressive. That's our fault. How? Not. I didn't say it was your fault. I said I understand why. You don't understand what I'm talking about.
They like to read.
I know. And that's our fault. Like, yeah, I didn't point the finger and blame you. Blame your shitty ass parents. They fucking sucked. What do you think overcoddled kids are like as parents? Oh, I wonder. I wonder if they overcoddle their children.
I mean, at some point, doesn't it kind of become hard for them to do that? Because if they're so used to the helicopter, like when they have to be someone else's helicopter, it's like, oh shit, they're not even competent enough to do it.
Right. I guess I'm just thinking of the parents that do get their shit together enough to actually raise a kid. They're probably just doing what their parents did to them. But yeah, I guess in the extreme cases, what would they do? Just utter neglect?
Yeah, then the kids are running around the streets again because none of these fucking new generation know. And then those parents, maybe it's kind of a cyclic thing,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do have
oscillating between overprotectiveness and just not giving a shit.
Paul, watch Tim Pool documentary about Sweden, Paul. Yeah, Paul, watch this horribly skewed, politically motivated documentary. That'll set you straight. Sorry, I don't get my information about the world from documentary films made by people with political agendas. I'll pass. What's up, Paul? I love you. Hey, man, how's it going? Would you be okay with having an AI control society with the directive making every person happy? That doesn't sound like a good directive. How about just protecting the life and property of people? How's that? I'd be fine with that. This is unwatchable. Good night, Paul. Your hat. Get the fuck out of here, faggot. If it was unwatchable, you wouldn't still be here. The younger generation is having less kids, Paul. People don't want kids anymore. Good. That's a step in the right direction, in my opinion.
I 100% agree.
99% of the people that want kids shouldn't have them. So I'm glad to.
That's my favorite argument against immigration. Like, well, these immigrants have a lot of kids. Like, yeah, okay, I'll give you that one.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Stop fucking breeding. There's too many humans.
I mean, that's one of those things that'll happen over the course of generations.
Got it.
In their culture, that's what they do, man. They fuck like rabbits. They pop out kids every goddamn opportunity they get.
Paul, can you bring me a can of that Coke?
Yep.
Thanks.
Whoa. What's up?
Squawk, TJ's right. You want kids? What are you, some kind of pedo? Get out of here, you sicko. TJ is part of coddle culture. No. I ain't coddling shit, bitch. The edge has returned. Paul, thoughts on AI? Paul, are you fucking blind? Paul is not fucking here, you stupid shit.
TJ is the antithesis of coddle culture. I agree with that. Scotty, thoughts on your less successful brother? What? The Shining is overrated. Oh, The Shinning. Never mind. I thought you said The Shining at first. How long has Paul's phone been cracked like this? Would you concede that Iraq is a no-go zone? What the fuck is that? That has nothing to do with anything. Iraq is a no-go zone because it's a war-torn shithole. And prior to that, it was fucking ruled by a despot. That has nothing to do with anything that's being discussed.
They're still trying to poke holes in this?
Yeah, the one I just brought up is like, would you concede that Iraq is a no-go zone? I'm like, the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, we're talking about there being troughed off little places in Western civilizations that are completely run by people from a totally different culture that you shouldn't go walking in. We're not talking about countries that have been in a state of war for 2 decades. This chat is a no-go zone. I'm starting to agree, man. Holy shit.
The no-go chat.
I'll take the L, but I never said you don't understand. I was just telling you about our current situation. You did say I didn't understand. I can't go back and see your super chat, but you said you don't understand, Paul. There are places that are literal no-go zones in Sweden. Not only do I understand, but I think your assessment is overblown. The no-go zone is memeing the chat. Okay.
Alrighty.
Thanks for your contribution.
About time someone said something sensible.
Would you feel comfortable being in a room with the people in this chat? Absolutely not.
I would. I want to see what they fucking really are like.
I might be curious enough to want that, but I wouldn't be comfortable.
I just feel like in real life the level of timidity would be off the scale.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that like people like you and I could probably completely socially dominate these people in real life if they were actually here.
You think so?
Yes. But maybe that's just my ego talking. I don't know.
Paul, remember me? The World War II airsoft fag with Michigan back in the DV soapbox was a thing. You still play Elite Dangerous? Every once in a blue moon I get on. It's been a while, though. Would you rather be in a room with all of us or in a room with the ginger kid from Freaked? I mean, it'd kind of be the same thing, I think. He's a little more outgoing than you guys, probably, but...
God, I hated that fucking kid so much, dude. Just wanted him dead. I was so happy when he fucking got sucked out of the plane, and I was like, oh, man, this movie's cool. And then he fucking
Wrong.
lived, and I was like, man, this movie just lost 2 points for me.
If TJ told you he had a death note, would you join him or defy him? Would be pretty stupid to defy him, wouldn't it? Hey, I've got this book I can write your name in and you'll die. That sounds like a person you don't want to defy. I'm an Arab in Sweden, and I lived in one of these quote-unquote no-go zones. They're just places with a lot of immigrants, but there's still Swedish people there. That's kind of what I figured. I kind of figured that would be the case. Paul, I smoked a bowl in Columbus. I felt Paul and I smoked a bowl in Columbus. I felt we got along, at least until the crowd bombarded him, and then I went to chill with Pimp Monk. That's cool. Yeah, I smoked quite a few bowls in Columbus.
Hard to get one-on-one time with people in those.
I mean, you know, I end up kind of, I try and travel around a lot.
Yeah, you and I are definitely the minglers.
Like, if I've been standing in one space for a while, I try and just like, and I don't mind if people come with me, but I try and move around and, you know, give other people that opportunity.
I don't know what Scotty does. He just kind of goes around and fucking...
Scotty follows his whims. So
like Scotty just becomes like a total fucking troll and prankster that just like uses it as an opportunity to do these like weird social experiments on people and see how they react to things.
yeah, but
And like test their limits. He like does things to piss them off and provoke them, but then if they actually get pissed, then he's pissed back.
right.
It's just like he'll do everything in his power to piss someone off, and then when they actually get pissed off, he acts like indignant about it. It's kind of cool. And Ben would just sit in one place and let people congregate around him.
Yep. Paul, what's the thing in the future which you feel most optimistic for? The rise of counterculture.
The right is the new counterculture, Paul.
No, I'm talking about real counterculture, not mainstream counterculture with a racist blanket thrown over it.
The right is the new counterculture, Paul. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard the good word, Paul?
I'm talking about real counterculture that isn't sycophantic, that displays individual thought, that values criticism and critique.
Sounds like a bunch of postmodernistic claptrap to me, Paul. Go fucking dye your hair blue, you soy boy. You cuck.
The internet has eliminated real counterculture. Wrong. The internet is going to help it spread quicker. Just a matter of time, man. The Puritans always get their little grip on things for a while, and then people fucking have to relearn the old fucking lesson that the Puritans suck. And then they get kicked in the ass for a generation or two. It just, the way shit goes, man. Right now, the Puritans are back in town. And it won't take long for people to realize that living in a puritanical society where you have to care about everybody's little feelings sucks. And then a counterculture will rise, and it'll be awesome. We'll get a new Bill Hicks. Well, not a new Bill Hicks. We'll get somebody, comparable. We'll get a Carlin, or a comparable. We'll start hearing these voices. We'll get some exciting, fresh politicians out of the deal. You know what I mean? Good shit. Conservatism is the new counterculture, Paul Joseph Watson. Well, he's an idiot. Paul Parkey? What?
Paul Joseph Parkey.
Paul Joseph Parkey. None of this shit matters anyway. All right, well, thanks for injecting our necessary little dose of nihilism. I mean, that is true. None of this does matter. It's all just an insignificant moment on a tiny little remote world in the outer areas of a spiral arm galaxy that's one of a million fucking galaxies. All of this matters greatly.
Whether it does or it doesn't, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is for you to decide. You gotta, like, whether it matters or not is kind of a matter of personal opinion. Which means it's kind of a meaningless question, because it either matters or it doesn't.
Either way, it is the thing that it is, and you might as well just conduct yourself based on your own value system, or lack thereof.
Does non-existence scare me? No. Just like a non-monster doesn't scare me. There's not a monster under my bed. Oh! Have you heard Eric Idle's Galaxy song? No. Dude, cannabis weapons sound awesome.
What?
It doesn't sound like a weapon to me. It sounds like a good way to get high. Well, tell us, Paul. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. Nothing really matters.
Anyone can see.
Have you heard any decent metal recently? No, not new. But I'm not really out there looking for metal.
Dude, I love when sometimes these like fucking teens and people in their early 20s and shit discover bands that like
You know about because you grew up with them.
Fucking like, dude, you ever heard of this band Tool? Crazy.
It's like, no, man, never heard them.
Wow, really? I only grew up listening to their shit.
You said new metal? I didn't say new metal, but I've heard new metal. I know what it is.
I liked some new metal. I liked the first Mudvayne album.
Yeah.
I liked some early Slipknot.
The band that I helped roadie for in California was a new metal band. Spread Needle. Spread Needle. You might be able to find some Spread Needle. I used to make, the band name was never Spread Needle amongst the bands. They became things that kind of sounded like alliterations of Spread Needle. I started calling them Shit Weasel and Spit Noodle, and it just stuck. Everybody would try and come up with different. System of a Down Syndrome. Yeah, they're pretty good.
Wake up! Gotta put them back up!
Wake up! Gotta put on my helmet. Gotta get it on the short bus. Hope I brought my drool cup. Going to the special class. I wanted to. Made something out of clay. I wanted to.
System of a Down Syndrome.
I think I just pooped my pants. I'm offended. Yeah, that sort of humor definitely not allowed these days, man. You can't make fun of retarded people. Their little feelings might get hurt.
People's feelings are the only thing that matters now.
Humor is funny. I'm sorry. It's just ingrained in me. It's what I grew up laughing at, and it's what I'll laugh at till the day I'm fucking dead. Just can't help it, man. Dick jokes, fart jokes, retard jokes, it's all good.
Once you've seen Black Panther, dude, it's all the rest of it's gonna click. By the way,
Yeah, we gotta go see that stupid bullshit.
a couple of fucking weeks ago, I said anybody who criticized Black Panther would be labeled not a rapist, a racist. That happened. And when that happened, I was like, okay, here's my next prediction. Pretty soon you're going to start seeing articles from all these liberal sites like, why weren't the LGBT people represented in Black Panther?
Yeah,
And I saw today that happened.
of course.
Exactly that, too. Black Panther missed its opportunity to have LGBT characters. What the fuck, Black Panther?
Yep.
Oh my God.
You can't. You can't.
You're never gonna be happy. You're never, ever, 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 ever gonna be fucking happy.
Kind of a weird movie would make these people happy. It would have to be a movie that just every kind of weird social subclass and physical deformity and every shade of every color under the rainbow, every religion positively represented. It would be the worst film that you've ever seen in the history of all time. It would be the worst. Think about it. It would have to have a handicapped character and a black trans handicapped character, because we can't just have a white handicapped character, so we got to have a black. Well, what about the Indian handicapped character? Okay, well, let's put an Indian dude in a wheelchair. Why is he in a wheelchair? Why can't the Indian dude have a different handicap? Where's the non-wheelchair handicapped people? You get it? At the end, if you could finally make a movie that pleased these fucking people, it would be the worst thing that was ever committed to film.
The first bipolar, transgender, lesbian superhero who is handicapped ever.
I mean, you couldn't even get all these things into one character, conceivably. So every character in the film, every side character, every main character, every fucking extra walking around on the street behind them would have to be some variation of some different snowflake race / religion / sexual orientation combo.
/ gender identity.
/ different levels of ableness. Think about it. Fucking crazy.
You make that movie, the first article you see is like, where were the other kin characters in this terrible fucking piece of shit? Huh?
Yep.
How come the other kin weren't represented? How come there wasn't the wolf kin?
Once again, other kin's experiences are erased by this stupid cinematic turd. Inclusive? Ha! It's like, oh my god, dude, please. Please stop.
They all deserve to die.
Even you, Mrs. Lovitz, even I. Why is the skepto community still giving Trump a chance, but will put down any reasonable leftist? It's because the skepto community got co-opted by this right-wing populism movement that's all the fresh meme right now. It would have to be the minions, but each minion represents each and every minority. Each character must have equal screen time. I mean, yeah. I mean, think about all the stupid rules you'd have to impose to please these people, and then you still wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could literally break your back trying to make a movie that would please them, and it still would not measure up.
Sweeney Todd is one of the best plays out there, at least one of the most fun. I've gotten to see it 2 or 3 times, and I've always wanted to be in it, although I don't have the vocal talent to play Sweeney, but man, that's the role, man. It's a great role. It's just a great show. I love the minimalist style that it's done in sometimes when the show tours. It adds a whole lot. I've never seen a big, like, giant, like, balls to the wall stage production of Sweeney, like where they have, like, you know, all the really stuff. I've always seen this really sparse, kind of stripped down version of it that I think really serves the show. Have you ever seen Vince McMahon lately? He looks like he was injected with pure action movie villain evil. Or pure action movie villain evil. Okay, I haven't seen him lately, no.
That's pretty much how he's always looked.
Pretty women, fascinating, combing out their hair. Pretty women, dancing. Yep. Oh, man, that's a great show. I just want to go watch Sweeney Todd now. Fuck you guys. You're stuck in an alternate reality where you had to collect amazing atheist farts for me. What? Oh, get out of here, Thursday Lane.
Yeah, dude, I've blocked him so many times.
Stupid ass fuck. Vince seems to think the XFL can compete with the NFL. Oh, yeah?
Well, he thought that last time, too. I mean, best of luck to him, whatever. I mean, you know, maybe he's right.
Who has the most insane girlfriend out of all 3 of you? No comment. Paul, you think a boot President Putin. Think a boot President Putin.
A boot President Putin.
Okay. Have you ever watched Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp? I love that movie style. I'm not real impressed with Sleepy Hollow personally, but whatever. To each his own, man.
I thought it was pretty good.
Stylistically, it's pretty cool. I guess I'll give you that.
I really liked Christopher Walken, even though he had kind of a small role.
The Big Show was the rightful winner of his WrestleMania 24 match against Mayweather. What? I think Depp did a pretty good job at doing a specific version of Sweeney. No, he didn't. The fucking Tim Burton version of Sweeney Todd is a total atrocity. If that's all you've ever seen of Sweeney Todd, then I implore you, if you like Sweeney Todd, go find on YouTube. There's a ton of different ones. Find a good original cast, professional recording of the show and watch it and see what it's supposed to be like. Listen to the songs as they're supposed to be sung, because I've talked about this before, but fucking they cast every role in that show with somebody that could not sing it. Johnny Depp, he can carry a tune, but he cannot sing Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd is an operatic tenor part. Fucking what's her name? Helena Bonham Carter can't even come close to singing Mrs. Lovitz's part. The only person that came close was Alan Rickman. His Judge Turpin could have been stage worthy. But everybody else, I mean, the guy that plays, what's his name? Fucking Pirelli, what's his name? The dude does fucking, Bruno and fucking, yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen, yeah. Can't sing. Sorry, not a singer. Even the little boy, the little kid, Toby, is supposed to be a fucking phenomenal singer. That little kid that they cast looked the part but could not sing. It was like the show, like they were like, well, we got people cast that can't sing, so let's just put people that can't sing in every principal part. It's stupid. Like when you're watching a musical, part of like a huge part of that experience is the vocal performance, right? Helena Bonham Carter's performance in Sweeney Todd is insulting to the part. She cannot sing. And that is one of the fucking hardest female parts in musical theater, Ms. and Mrs. Lovitz. It is just absolutely like the accent work that you have to do while you're singing adds a whole layer of complexity to it. It's way up in the falsetto at a lot of parts, and you got to have a strong, clear, heavily diaphragm-backed falsetto.
This is a common thing in these movies now. I mean, like, a shit ton of these movies, they cast actors who are cast for their name value, and they expect them to be able to sing, like Russell Crowe.
Oh, yeah, like that's another one, dude. Les Mis, if all you've ever seen of Les Mis, the movie, please, please, please see the stage show. See it live, see it on, like that. Another great example. Javert is one of the hardest fucking parts to sing in musical theater, and you cannot put somebody that can't sing in it and have them sing like approximated. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, you can get these people all the vocal coaching you want. I mean, you can teach them how to carry a tune and stuff, but
like that's not it.
Not opera singers, you know.
No, I mean carrying a tune is the first step of about
I saw the Beauty and the Beast live action version. And they insisted on having Emma Watson sing the songs and shit. And it was just like...
terrible.
Man, I mean, like, she can kind of sing, but she's just not on the level that she needed to be to carry it. I mean, she's just totally flat, emotionless, auto-tuned to shit to fix the defects in her fucking singing.
It's terrible. Like, you've got to be able to sing...
Get a fucking, just dub them. I mean, they used to just dub people. You know, someone couldn't sing, they just got someone who fucking could to do the singing.
I don't know. Angela Lansbury played Mrs. Lovitz in the original cast. Tim Burton turned it into a movie, which makes it more... I mean, like, he could have made a great movie. I mean, the movie, like, itself, the design of it, the look of it, would have been cool. It was just a miscasting problem. Helena Bonham Carter should have been nowhere near the film. Johnny Depp should have been nowhere near the film. Sacha Baron Cohen nowhere near the film. If those three actors had not, and whatever the little kid's name that played Toby, if those actors were cast with competent musical theater actors, it would have been a great film. Just needed a better cast. Anyway, this is about to die. Good night, everybody.